You know, I see a lot of criticisms, but I often don't see a lot of solutions. Now, I understand why people uh, are skeptical of Maxime Bernier, right? And think that he is exactly the same as all the other politicians, and how also it's going to be difficult for you to vote for him if there's nobody in your riding to vote for, right? So these are all good criticisms, right? And I completely understand the criticisms and the skepticism and whatnot. But the only problem I do have is that whenever I hear these criticisms, I never often hear a solution, right? I never hear, well, we should do this instead. Well, okay, don't vote for Max, or don't say you're going to vote for Max and support him and whatnot. Do this and this and that. I never hear that, right? There is never a solution. And if you're just going to criticize without a solution, then what the fuck is the point? Because I can go and I can criticize the fuck out of Christianity and religion and all that, and I make a lot of good criticism about it, and maybe convince you not to believe it anymore because it's bad for you, because it's, you're believing in fairy tales, right? But we've seen the results of that. We've seen the results of getting people to become all atheists right away. And I am an atheist. But most people, when you destroy a certain ideology that is making these people good, or be kind to each other, and is upholding society in the structure of society, completely destroying it and not replacing it with anything else is a really good way to have other people come in and then replace their non-ideology or thoughts or whatever with other bullshit. So that's the only problem I have when criticizing and dismantling something without having a solution. Because maybe, it was better off the way it was before. Maybe we shouldn't make everybody atheists right away, because they don't have the capacity to be philosophers and to moralize themselves and to understand what is right and wrong without some book telling them what is right or wrong. Maybe not everybody has that capacity. So maybe we do need some type of religion so some of these fucking people can be good people, or know what the fuck is right and wrong, because they obviously need it. But it's kind of the same with Maxime Bernier and stuff in my strategy. Now, I don't think that Maxime is going to win this election. It doesn't matter if I can't vote for him in this election. Now, what matters is that we have a politician that is a representation of a couple percentage of people who do want change, right? That is what actually matters. Because now we can see it in the real terms, in a tangible way. And the conservatives can see it in a tangible way. The liberals have the NDP and the Green Party and all these people to know, oh, okay, a lot of these people are moving to the NDP because we're going too far right, or okay, we need to change our position to attract these groups of people. But the conservatives really don't have that. It's either these conservatives move too far left and people just don't vote at all. But at least now they have something to potentially vote for, or whatnot, to be like, hey, this is what we want. We want less government. And the Conservative Party against the Liberals right now are neck and neck, especially in the polling. And yes, don't believe the polling, but some polling is actually accurate. Some polling is actually useful to use, and you shouldn't dismiss all the polls, and they're not all fucking fake news. The ones in Canada, they're probably fairly accurate. Obviously not the ones that happened in Toronto or whatnot, but there are discrepancies, and yes, the one with Trump and whatnot, but there are realistic polls and stuff to be done. But a lot of the polls do suggest that they are pretty close to each other. Liberals a little bit above them, sometimes the conservatives a little bit above them. But if they had that 1 to 2% of the PPC, then they would win for sure. Now, if the conservatives lose to Trudeau right now, when he's had 4 ethics violation, probably another one coming up, when he's blundered all of these things overseas in India, China, in America, screwed up our trade. The economy's not doing that great. Anybody who is next to Trudeau should be able to beat him. So this should be a wake-up call for the Conservatives that, hey, if you don't actually start going right again, then you're going to start losing more people to this party. Now, you can just choose not to vote at all and say, they're all corrupt and they're all going to do this, but then what is that? You may as well just like slit your wrist at that point and be like, fuck it. Like what are we going to do? What's the alternative? What's the other solution? What should we do? That's the only problem. I want to hear something that I can do, because people feel completely helpless if there is nothing that they think that they can do. And that's not a good state to be in. When people feel helpless, if you get everybody to feel helpless, like they can't do anything, then what the fuck are they going to do? Either they're going to sit down, do nothing, and waste away, be all bitter and depressed and angry and shit, or, something else, right? Like, you would rather people have the hope that maybe they can change something, because you know what? Things can be changed. Minds can be changed. We used to have slavery and all this other shit in the past in Western countries, but we don't anymore. We used to have all different types of things. We do live much better than we did before. There's a lot less violence than there was before. Like, things do get better. Things can change. People can change. Us individuals can make differences. But if you believe you can't make a difference, then you won't make a difference at all. And, that's the only thing. We got to be careful about getting people into this black-pilled state of, we're all fucked, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I don't see a lot of, like, the chances I see of turning things around are small, but they're there. They exist. Even if it's 1% to 2% of a chance to maybe change things one day, then you take that 1% to 2%. You don't just let it squander and, do nothing and just let the eventual replacement of Canadians happen, because that is what is happening right now. So, I have no problem with the criticisms and stuff of Maxime Bernier. Like, they make sense. They make a lot of sense, right? But at this point, it doesn't even matter if you can vote for him. I'm not going to vote for the Conservatives with the way that they are right now. I can't vote for them. And I'm not even for the government in general. I want it to all go away. But you can't just... When you just remove something immediately, there's a lot of disaster, a lot of havoc that's going to take place after that. Like, if you have welfare and you just, remove it one day, then there's going to be a lot of misery. There's going to be a lot of panic and stuff for probably quite a little while, and a lot of disturbance in the market. And it's going to fuck up a lot of shit. But if you do it incrementally, then you could get rid of it entirely. And if, it's all has to be done incrementally. We want to avoid the eventual crash if we can. We want to try to scale things back slowly, or to at least get more people thinking that libertarianism, that smaller government and stuff is a good idea. So then if there is a crash, then they're not going to remake a system that looks identical to the one that we have now. Then we're going to have the same problems down the road, or the next generations will, and whatnot. But, we need to try to get, if the whole parties in Canada, the Conservatives and all that stuff are too far left right now, then we got to start to try to move them further to the right incrementally if we can. This is the only option. It's that or what? It's or that, or I don't know, get enough people together to stop paying taxes at once. Maybe that could work. That's what I'm saying. Give me other solutions. If there is other solutions that we could be applying and doing, I want to know of them, because then I can start working towards that, doing something. But if it's just like, they're all fucked, they're all corrupt, doesn't matter what you do, just may as well just kill yourself, It's like, well, okay, then what am I gonna do? You know, like I want to do something. We can do something. We can change. We can shift the boat around. You know, it doesn't take too much to shift a huge weight just slightly off course to make it go completely differently. You know, it's like an asteroid's coming for Earth and stuff to kill us all. Well, you just need to shift that asteroid just a little bit to the left, and then it's going to miss Earth eventually. And you know, it's a terrible metaphor or something, but you know, that's the only thing I have. It's like, you know, I like I said, I understand the criticisms and whatnot, but you know, I can't vote for the CPC the way it is now. I couldn't do it. I can't do it because it's just going to be leading in the same direction eventually. And maybe Maxim is exactly like all the other politicians, but it doesn't really matter. You know, is Trump fucking the best in the world and the greatest politicians? But a lot of people support him. A lot of people that naysay everybody in Canadian politics also support him and like what he's doing. But you know, he's not perfect either. He's done a lot of things that I disagree with too, that are not good. They're not necessarily free market oriented. He's kind of sleazy. He's cheated on his wife and all this other crap. Done hired like, you know, illegals or done like shady business deals. You know, he's not a great fucking upstanding citizen either. But guess what? He's a lot fucking better than Hillary Clinton, and he is slowing down immigration in America at least a little bit right now. That buys you time. That buys you time to change things, because we are heading for a bloody fucking disaster. We're heading for a bloody disaster. And if we vote conservative, we're heading for it. If we vote liberal, we're heading for it. And at the very least, Max is proposing things that would avoid it. That would avoid it. Maybe there's some things about, I don't know, his foreign policy with Israel or something that is questionable, and a couple of other things. But guys, he's a lot fucking better than the other alternatives that we do have. Now, not perfect, but you got to take what the fuck you can get. And you know, if he is not your cup of tea, then let's hear a different solution. Let's hear somebody else. Maybe you go and run, and then I can vote for you, because then you're proposing all of the right policies or whatnot. And like I said, the party itself doesn't need to win. They just the conservatives just need to know that, hey, you lost because of this fucking group of people. I don't care. I'll take all the fucking hate from the CPC and all that shit. I fucking embrace it. I'll embrace that shit, man. I don't give a fuck. You know, you cucky fucking conservative bitches are the reason Canada is like this. It's you fucking boomer motherfuckers that should have fucking taken a stand. Not every boomer. I know someone's gonna get, well, I'm boomer. Yeah, not you, okay? Not you, but guess what? It's a fucking older generation that makes the fucking country for the younger generation. So if people want to stop blaming all boomers and shit, dude, you guys are the one in fucking charge of it. You're the ones that raised us to be the way that we are now. You're the one that raised Generation X to raise us. Oh, well, we had nothing to do with it. We had nothing to do with it. You people are stupid for wanting to change and do things right now. Well, you should have done it before 20, 30, 40, fucking 50 years ago, when we had a chance, when you could have, when the demographics were not completely fucked, when we were still 70, 80, 90% of the fucking country, when it would have been easy. But, you know, oh, fuck you guys, you're splitting the vote. You're splitting the vote. Fuck you, you know? Fuck you. That's all I have to say, because like I say, if we're heading to destruction anyways, voting for you, then it may as well come a little bit quicker when the demographics aren't as fucked as they are right now, or what they will be eventually. It may as well come sooner than later, when I'm young and healthy and at my prime, so I could fucking survive, instead of waiting when I'm 40, 45, 50 years old, when I got bad knees and can barely run. All you fuckers right now will have to deal with it, because you didn't take a stand in the past to change things. And now your cowardice is going to catch up on you. and your old fat knees are not gonna allow you to run and get away and do shit or stand or fight, because your bad back is gonna be in the way, and then you're gonna be crying and moaning. But I'm not gonna feel bad, because it's this generation that sold out my generation and the previous generations, the generations after that. So, you know what? You get what's coming to you at the end of the day. At the end of the day. And, you know, at least some people are trying to change something. At least some people are at least saying they want to vote for this and saying they want change and will try to do something. And maybe it will fail. Maybe it will fail utterly. But at least you know you tried to do something. You know, I would rather be like heading towards a cliff and like on a fucking cart, and at least I like, you know, grabbed and threw my fucking hands into the dirt and tried to, you know, my very best to stop it, even though it ripped my fucking nails out of my hands. At least I fucking tried, instead of just being, oh, but my hands would hurt if I do that. It's gonna scrap up my hands if I do this. Yeah, well, it's gonna save your fucking life before you go over the cliff and you die. So, you know, at least that, maybe it's a stupid solution. Maybe it's a stupid strategy. But at least it's a strategy. At least it's something. Instead of, no, it's all fucked. We're all going to die. You know, just cut your wrists right now. End it. Just, you know, go in a ditch, bleed to death, and let the fucking rats come and eat your body and shit, because, you know, you can't do anything, and we're all going to die eventually anyways, and life is finite, blah, 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 right? Whatever. But, you know, let's do something. You know, redeem yourselves. Old people that put us in this fucking position right now, that are mad about the younger generation and how they act because of the way that they've been taught, because of, you know, how people didn't take a stand in the beginning. Redeem yourselves. Redeem yourselves. Stop your pensions. Give your pensions back. That money doesn't exist anymore, okay? It doesn't exist. It's not there. It's not yours. You never paid into anything. Doesn't matter if you think you did. It was a corrupt fucking system that you legitimized. So, you know, if enough people stood and did something back in the day, when you had more of a chance, it would be a lot easier to fight this right now. But things, if we want to avoid a collapse, you know, old people's pensions are going to be the first ones to go, right? Guess what? Your pensions are going to be gone, because you guys are the ones that sold out the younger generation. So you're not going to steal from the young. You're not going to make me your slave to pay for you when you're old. Fuck that shit. What have you done for me other than selling me out? So at least I'm fucking trying something, but don't suckle off of me when you're old and you need my fucking taxpayer money and you need me to go fucking work out and go work and not be able to buy a home like you could do on one fucking income and do all these things. Don't use me as a fucking tax slave, because I'm not going to fucking do it. I'm going to let it fucking crumble down around. And I'm not going to vote for the Conservatives, especially with the policies that they are proposing. And I'm going to say I'm going to vote for Max whether I can or can't, because at least he is proposing things that would turn the country around at the very least. And I don't hear any other solutions. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.